What's up? It's your buddy John back for the first time in a good minute. I think I've been going just over 4 months. Last time I spoke, yeah, I think it was the 4th was on a Friday, so that would have been like July 6th. So, yeah. But, anyways, we're back. Maintenance period is over. And unfortunately, um, there was no maintenance. It was all bad. So 4 months away, back for the update. It was 4 months of not sleeping with any kind of regularity, almost zero walking. And I mean, I might have took 3 or 4 walks and they weren't even the walks that I typically take. It was, 3-4 miles just to get out of the house, feeling antsy. There was no sense of urgency. And then eating was just, we don't even keep track. That's how bad it was. I could have summed up my eating very simply by just saying Burger King, Chick-fil-A, whatever. Think of the pizza. You think of the BS, it would have been something like that. So 4 months later, I'm talking to my friend Warren, and he's like, "Man, you need to get back on the videos." And this is where things fell apart. I stopped doing videos, stopped being accountable, and I guess that's how it goes. I guess that's why I started off making videos, because I wanted to hold myself accountable. And when we stopped making videos, we stopped doing anything. Just as quick as I was able to lock in terms of discipline and go hard for 6 straight months, the second the cameras weren't rolling, didn't care. And I went into a slight depression after I lost 100 pounds at the 6-month mark, because I looked around, and even though like we lost the weight, we made all kinds of progress. When I really think about it, yeah, hopefully I've improved my long-term health prospects. But most of my life was just the same as it was before I started. And something about that was depressing. I understand why people enjoy, planning or having a goal for something, because it gives you a purpose. It gives you somewhere to point your compass towards and head that way. But I guess I wasn't ready for what happens when you get there. And then what? Okay, you got there, and then what? And I just wasn't ready. And that with a litany of other things that all happened at the same time left me in a depression. So all I was doing was eating like garbage, not really sleeping, zero walking, and just laying in bed playing games on my phone. So my buddy Warren told me to get on the scale, let's get back accountable, and I didn't want to, because I walk by myself. I walk by the mirror every morning to take a piss, and I know who was walking in front of the mirror wasn't the same dude who was walking in front of the mirror 4 months ago. And I got on the scale, and I was like 281. So that would have been like 74 pounds in 6 months back on. So before I made a video, I said, all right, let's lock in eating again. Let's start walking, and let's do a week of that to kind of detox, and let's see where our baseline is. That'll be our baseline, and we'll have to get going again. Stepped on the scale this morning at 269.5. I didn't take a picture of it, but that's where I was. And so that's still like 62.3 pounds, or, whatever it was, 62 plus pounds added back on in 4 months. Here we are again, unacceptable. And I come to you humbled, and I'm ashamed that I didn't uphold the standard that I had set for myself and anybody who's paying attention. Like, this is what we were going to do. And it took a couple times. There was a couple times where I was sitting in my bed thinking, people would say, man, that's so great. You reached your goal. 207, you reached your goal, 100 pounds in 6 months. And then I started thinking about it about a month ago. Like, I didn't reach my goal. Like, that was like a goal that was within reach, a metric to quantify, like 106. Like, how cool would that be? But I still wanted to get down to like 184 when I actually started rolling and saw the progress we were making. The goal was to get down to 184. And 184 is a weird number. Why not 180 or 185 or 190? I was 185 in the military before my second deployment. That was like the best weigh-in I ever had in the military. 185. Bottom line, mid-20s. The best weigh-in I ever could remember was 185. So I wanted to get down to 184, kind of to prove a point to myself. Like, yeah, you can do this if you want to. So now that's the goal again. Get down there if we can. Work our way back up with some weight training to try to put some weight back on to about 205, 210 with weight training, some muscle. But I guess it starts now. 269 and a half. I still hate to see that number. It's much better than the 281 mark, but still, it's like I said, the only way I can describe it is humbling. The journey starts again today, November 9th, Sunday. Back to it. And so hopefully you'll join me. If you don't, I totally get it. Like, but I guess as my mom would say, such is life. Like, these kind of things happen. I had to get off the game that I was playing that had me sitting around all the time because I saw that I was sliding. Obviously, I saw I was sliding too late. But I had to stop the slide. I just finished changing all my smoke detector batteries. That's not anything that, like, they've probably been beeping for months. Well, we just changed them. I mopped my floors for the first time in forever. Like, my house is actually clean for the first time in a long time because I just hadn't cared. Like, that's how bad it was. That's how down bad I was. So, anyways, we're back. Videos should be coming every Sunday. Hopefully, you guys will join along and see if we can regain the magic that put us here in the first place. That had me starting this right here. Anyways, that's all I got. So, this your buddy John. Out.
God, your hands are green. Because they got hit by lightning.